Ever feel like your career is just stuck in neutral while you see other people flying by in the fast lane? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Today, we are going to crack open the modern playbook for getting ahead. And it turns out it's this powerful mix of what you know, who you know, and maybe most importantly, how you tell your own story.
So let's just dive right in. This is the question, right? The one that keeps so many of us up at night. How in the world do some people just rocket up the career ladder? Is it luck? Is it raw talent? Or is there some kind of secret strategy that the rest of us just don't know about?
You know, this quote from executive coach Rob Salafia, it just hits so close to home. So many of us believe in the myth of merit. You know, you put your head down, you do amazing work, and you assume the rewards will just show up. But then you watch someone else get that promotion, and you're left wondering what happened. Always the bridesmaid.
So here's a thought. What if just doing good work isn't the whole story? What if all that competence, all that hard work, is really just the price of admission? Let's look at a framework that kind of peels back the curtain on what's really going on.
Okay, this right here, this is the 70-20-10 model, and honestly, it's a total game changer. So look, 70% of our growth comes from actually doing the job, from those tough assignments. Makes sense. And that little 10%, that's your formal training, your courses. But that middle slice, that 20%, that is the secret sauce. A full fifth of our development comes from our relationships with other people.
So, to put it another way, while your hands-on experience is absolutely king, that huge 20% chunk is all about people. It's the feedback you get, the mentors you have, the network you build. It's the human element, and it can literally make or break your career path. But it's the part we so often ignore.
And that, of course, brings us to this old saying. I know. Hearing it can be super frustrating. But when you look at it through the lens of that 70-20-10 model, it starts to make a lot more sense. It's not just about schmoozing. It's about strategically building relationships that help you grow.
Okay, so with that framework in mind, let's get practical. Let's break down the modern career playbook into its three main parts. And we have to start with the foundation, your high-value skills.
Now, before we go any further, let's get one thing crystal clear. None of the networking or storytelling stuff works if you're not actually good at what you do. Competence is the ticket to the game. Think of your people skills as an amplifier for your talent, not a replacement for it. You absolutely need both.
So what kind of skills are we talking about right now? Well, the data from Coursera gives us a pretty clear picture. A UX researcher in the UK, for instance, can pull in over £54,000. And look at software engineers and data scientists. They're right up there around 49,000. These are the concrete, rock-solid skills that have to be the bedrock of your career. This is your what you know.
So, once you have that solid foundation of skills in place, it's time to shift our focus to that critical 20%, the art of connection.
And listen, building connections isn't some big, scary numbers game. It's all about quality, not quantity. And it really just boils down to these four simple but super powerful actions. Let's see what they look like in the real world.
This one is just gold, especially if you're a bit of an introvert. Instead of feeling all this pressure to work the room, this person on Reddit figured out the superpower of just listening. You make other people feel heard, you make them feel valued, and you end up leaving this amazing impression. It's a total win-win.
Okay, and this is where the real magic happens. Being genuinely helpful is a superpower. We're not talking about huge, grand gestures here. It's the small stuff. Remembering a coworker's hobby, sharing a helpful article. This is how you build real, authentic connections, the kind built on trust that, like this user found out, can actually lead to faster promotions.
And this is really the ultimate goal when you build those strong connections. We've all heard about mentors, right? The people who give you advice. But a sponsor? A sponsor is next level. This is someone who's an advocate. They're in those high-level meetings that you're not in, and they're using their own influence to champion you. Finding a sponsor is proof that you've built some seriously powerful relationships.
Okay, so you have the skills, you're building the right connections, but there's one more piece to this whole puzzle. You've got to tell your story.
This is the final hurdle where so many talented people just stumble. You can have all the skills in the world, all the connections, but if you can't clearly communicate your value, you're basically invisible. And this isn't about bragging. It's about making sure your contributions are seen and heard.
Remember Rob Salafia from the beginning? You might think he learned his communication skills in some fancy business school, but his training ground was way tougher. He was a street performer. And think about that. If you can't grab an audience and prove your worth in just a few seconds, you go home with an empty hat. Talk about high-stakes communication.
So how did he take that street-smart hustle into the corporate world? He uses this brilliant technique he calls story selling. It's all about framing your wins through the words of other people. So instead of saying, "I'm a great team player," you say, "What my team really appreciated was." It's such a subtle shift, but it lets you highlight your value without sounding like you're full of yourself.
So, are you ready to start crafting your own story? Salafia gives us this simple but really powerful exercise. Just take a minute and answer these 3 questions. It'll give you a super clear picture of your own professional story, where you've been, where you are now, and most importantly, where you want to go.
So, there you have it, the modern career playbook, all boiled down. It's that powerful trifecta of competence, connection, and communication. If you can master these 3 things, you're going to be pretty much unstoppable.
And why is this so critical? Because here's the thing. Right now, in rooms you aren't even in, senior leaders are already telling a story about you. The only question is, are you just going to let them write that story for you, or are you going to hand them the script you want them to read? So as you think about your next career move, I want to leave you with this question. What story are people telling about you when you're not in the room? Because that story, that becomes your reality, and you have the power to write it. So go write a great one.